이번 주에도 돌아온 한국어 영어 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태용입니다. 반갑습니다.
And I'm Jeep. Welcome to Half and Half. All right.
네,
So today
네,
we had a suggestion from somebody who left a comment on
네.
a video for
맞아요.
a topic. What's the topic?
네, 우리가 더운 날 먹는 음식 에피소드에서 에릭님께서 댓글을 남겨주셨는데 거기서 이렇게 주제 추천을 해주셨습니다. 추천받은 주제는 영어로 table manners라고 하더라고요.
Yep, table manners. That's right.
네, 한국어로는 식사 예절 이렇게 표현하면 좀 맞을 것 같아요.
I see. Yeah,
네.
I've also heard Koreans say meno.
네,
Meno.
아 맞아요.
But in English, we never say, well, you can say manner, but manner has a completely different meaning. We always say manners. Manners.
그쵸.
Yeah.
맞아요. 그거 아마 많은 한국 분들이 모르실 거예요.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you say manor in English,
네.
it actually means a very, very big house. It's like a mansion is a manor. So, for example, Batman, you know Batman the character,
아,
right?
네, 네.
He lives in a manor. That's where he lives.
외인 저택.
Yeah, Wayne Manor, exactly. But manners is what we're talking about today. Manners, table manners.
근데 그 manners가
Yeah.
그 어떤 그 manner라는 거에 그 복수형 그러니까 매너 이렇게 많은 매너를 말하는 말이에요? 아니면 그냥 manners라는 한 단어예요?
It's a good question. Yeah. We always just say manners, but I think it is a plural word that's talking about the many different rules, and each rule, I guess, would be one manner. But because manner can also mean like manner. Manner can mean like the way that you do something. It can also mean like sudan kind of meaning of like the way that you do something,
오,
or 방법 kind of meaning.
네, 네.
Su, it's just su is kind of the manner. So all the manner to get all these different manners are the manners. That's the rules, the manners. I don't know.
아,
That's just how we say it. But we always say, you know, mind your manners. Mind your manners. It means, you
네,
know,
네.
don't break the rules. Follow the rules. Mind your manners. Yeah.
아, 그러면 그 manners의 매너는 저택 매너는 아니고
Yeah.
그 방법, 그 뭐 수단
Yes.
그런 매너네요.
Yeah. That's right.
그렇구나. 그래요. 저도 옛날에 고등학생 때 그 대학교 들어가는 수능 영어 공부할 때 영어 인강 선생님이 알려줘서 알았는데 아마 아직도 모르는 분들이 좀 있을 것 같아요, 많이.
Okay. There's one other case I can think of. Maybe this explains the singular case. So there's a common phrase in English. We say bedside manner. Bedside manner.
무슨 말이에요, 그게?
Okay, so I'll try to explain this. So when you go to the doctor, right?
네.
And the doctor does some tests, and then you get a result. If he has some really, really bad news for you, like bad news,
아,
he has to say it very carefully
네.
to not upset the patient. He has to say it very, very carefully, right?
네.
So we call that bedside manner. You go to the bed of the person who's sick and you tell them, here's your problem. You're going to die. That's bedside manner. So I think it's related. It's talking about the way that he explains the problem and
맞네요,
doing it
맞네요.
carefully. Yeah.
베드사이드 매너라고 하는구나.
Yeah.
아, 그런 단어가 있다는 게 좀 성숙한 문화인 것 같습니다.
Yeah, I think so.
네, 한국어로는 딱 바꿔 말할 수 있는 게 없어요.
Oh, really? Okay.
제가 알기론 지금 딱 떠오르는 건 없어요.
Okay. Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, sometimes we'll say this doctor has good bedside manner, or this doctor has no bedside manner, meaning he doesn't carefully tell you your problem. He just says it, and then people are very upset or sad. So, yeah.
좋은 표현 하나 알았네요.
Uh,
배드사이드 매너. 배드사이드 매너 그 매너리즘에 빠진다 이런 말도 하잖아요.
yes, that's right. Mannerisms. Yeah, that can be
그것도?
like your how do you say like 인격 kind of?
인격?
Is it 인격 or maybe
네.
it's sort of your not personality, but mannerisms is the common way that you act. People can recognize you because of the way that you are. So, so for example, this is just an example.
네.
Sometimes we say Italians always talk with their hands. They move their hands a lot when they talk.
네.
That's Italians. We would say that's a mannerism that they
어?
move their hands when they talk.
그게 매너리즘이에요?
Yeah. And then another mannerism would be like these are just examples, but like somebody from India, like Indo saram, right? In English we have a nod and we have a no,
아.
but in India they have this too.
이거. 네.
Right. So when you see a person do this, that's a mannerism that they do that sometimes, right?
네.
But it can be more individual. Like for example,
네.
I don't know my own mannerisms. I can't think of it. But if for example, before I talked, I always went and then said something, and then said something like that. My mannerism would be I always take a breath and then talk. That would be a mannerism, right?
그런 걸 매너리즘이라고 하는구나.
Yeah.
한국에서는 완전히 다른 의미로 쓰이는 것 같아요.
Oh, really? What does it mean?
제가 자세히 뜻을 알아본 적이 없는데 보통 매너리즘에 빠지다 이렇게 얘기를 많이 같이 하거든요. 매너리즘에 빠지다.
Okay.
근데 이게 좀 부정적인 표현이에요.
Like
이게-
a bad habit, kind of?
네네. 그런 맥락인데, 근데 포인트는 그런 어떤 일이나 그 행동을 계속 똑같이 반복하면서 그 흥미나 새로움을 잃고 틀에 박힌 방식만을 고수하는 상태.
Oh, okay.
그러니까
Yeah.
예,
아하.
이 표현의 그 요지는 그냥 뭐 새로운 거 없이 똑같은 것만 하면서 그냥 계속 그냥 바뀌는 거 없이 그대로 있는 좀
Okay.
안 좋은 의미로 표현하는 거예요.
Huh. Yeah, I can understand why it might have that meaning, but it's definitely a different meaning than we
네.
use mannerism.
네, 완전히
Yeah.
뉘앙스가
Mannerism in
다르네요.
English, it doesn't have a negative meaning. It just means sort of a habit, not good or bad, but habit, a way of moving your body or speaking or moving your hands, something like that.
오,
This is your mannerism. You do this.
네네, 그쵸. 흥미로운 게 있을 때 이렇게 하는.
yeah.
오,
Yeah.
재밌다. 이게 저 지금까지 이거 몰랐어요. 처음 알았어요.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad I could teach you some things. Okay, let's get on topic. Let's talk about table manners.
들어갑시다.
Yeah.
네, 이쯤에서.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to go first and talk a little bit about, I guess, table manners in Korea? Because I'm curious to learn more. This is something I don't think I understand very well.
식사 예절 일단 뭐 대표적인 거부터 몇 가지 얘기해 보자면 일단 어른이 숟가락을 들기 전에 아랫사람은 숟가락을 들지 않습니다.
I've definitely heard this. Although,
네.
so in English, we would actually say it a little bit different. But I think the way you said it is easier to understand.
오.
So in English, we would say, don't eat before the oldest person eats.
네.
So the oldest person eats first and then you eat. But you're saying literally don't even pick up your chopsticks until they have picked up their chopsticks.
그쵸.
Is that literally the rule? Like don't touch your chopsticks?
네, 그게 예의인 것 같아요.
Okay.
네, 아니
And then
네,
go ahead.
아니 그러니까 입에 음식을 안 넣더라도 이 손에 막 들고 있으면
Yeah.
좀 그렇잖아요.
Right. Okay, so I have another question. So I know in Korea, a lot of the chopsticks are metal chopsticks, right? They're the
그쵸.
stainless steel metal. But sometimes there'll be the wooden chopsticks that are connected, and then you break them, and then you
아,
can use them. Sometimes, right?
네네. 일회용 나무 젓가락.
Yeah.
네.
Okay. So before the oldest person has started using their chopsticks, would it be okay to break them and set them down? Or should I just not touch them at all?
좋은 질문입니다. 그거는 어, 그 질문을 듣고 생각이 나는 건
Yeah.
일단
Mm-hmm.
그냥 평소에 보통 웬만하면
Mm-hmm.
그런 그 윗사람이 들기 전에 딱 수저를 들면 안 되는 그런 예의를 지킬 만한 자리에선
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
나무젓가락을 쓸 일이 많이 없을 거예요.
Okay. Okay.
그래서 되게 저도 그럴 땐 어떻게 해야 되지? 이렇게 딱 멈추거든요.
Right.
근데 아이 그거 나무젓가락 뽀개는 거 정도는 해도 되지 않을까요?
Okay.
대신 이거 뜯고 자리에 다시 놔두고.
Yeah.
아 근데 이거 나도 모르겠네요. 어떻게 해야 되지?
Is it safe or not?
예, 그 정도는 괜찮지 않을까 싶은데. 예. 아니면 신나서 딱 뜯었다가 이렇게 눈치 보고 다시 딱 내려놓으면 될 것 같기도 하고.
Sure. Okay. So maybe just don't even touch your chopsticks. They could be on the table, but don't like pick them up.
맞아요.
Okay. That's actually really useful because, like I said, we always thought of it as, or I always thought of it as, don't eat before the oldest person. But that makes it even more clear, is don't touch your chopsticks.
아 그렇죠.
It's very clear. Okay. Interesting.
네. 아니 그 잠깐 스쳐 지나간 생각이
Yeah, go ahead.
그 전통적인 한국 음식들은
Mm-hmm.
거의 모두가 수저를 사용해야 먹을 수 있잖아요.
Right.
근데 서구권 같은 데는 뭐 샌드위치나 햄버거나
Right.
그런 빵 같은 손으로 먹는 것들도 꽤 있잖아요.
Right.
그 차일까요, 혹시?
Yeah. So this is a good question. Okay, so the similar, not exactly similar rule, but okay. We're just talking about table manners. When we go to a restaurant or even at somebody's house, the most general rule is don't start eating until everybody has their food. So if you order at a restaurant and they bring out one plate and somebody else doesn't have food yet, they haven't brought their food, then you don't touch your food. You just wait. So you probably wait 5 minutes, and then you might wait 10 minutes. And if they still haven't brought their food after 10 minutes,
네.
then the other person who's waiting will say, hey, you can start eating. It's okay. Like, they might be polite and say, please just start eating. I don't want you to wait for your food. But usually you wait for everybody to have their food in front of them.
네.
After everybody has their food, then you can start eating before anybody else. It doesn't matter who eats first. You just have to have your food. Maybe the exception to this would be if you get, for example, a sandwich with French fries or
네.
a sandwich with potato chips. If the other person doesn't have their food yet, you can eat one fry. You can eat one chip. That's okay.
그런 거예요?
Yeah.
전 또 그 프라이를 나눠 먹는 줄 알았죠.
Yeah.
근데 그게
So you can
아니구나.
eat one or maybe two, but that's it.
하나씩 쪼 먹는 거구나.
Yeah. Especially if
네.
you offer your fries to the other person. So
네.
be like, oh, do you want a fry? Have one right now. You're still waiting, so here, have a fry. So that can help. The other thing is sometimes at restaurants you order appetizers.
네.
So in Korea you have bansan, right?
네.
We don't have bansan in our culture. Either you order an appetizer or not. But if you order an appetizer, it comes very quickly. So you can share that appetizer start eating while you're waiting for your food. And so if I'm eating an appetizer and my food comes and they haven't received their food, I can start eating because they still have the appetizer, right?
맞네. 그렇네요.
Right. Yeah.
어. 아니, 아니 잠깐만. 근데 얘기
Yeah.
듣다가 저 지금 알아차렸는데 혹시 오늘
Okay.
주제가 테이블 매너 식사 예절이라 티셔츠를
Oh, right. Yeah.
그걸 입고
Yeah, I wore this because it's Table Manners Day. So this is my very, very formal shirt or formal suit and bow tie, tuxedo.
좋습니다.
네.
나도 난 이건데 난.
Oh, you know what's interesting?
네.
So your shirt has Korean written on it.
네.
I feel like that's not very common to have Hangul written on your shirt.
거의 이런 일이 절대 없어요. 거의 없어요.
Yeah.
전부
So
다
why do you
영어.
have that shirt?
아니, 이거 제가 좋아하는 웹툰에 나오는
만나콘.
네. 제가 좋아하는 웹툰에 나오는 가상의 과자 이름입니다.
Okay.
네. 아무튼 네, 다시 돌아가서
Okay.
네, 그러면 반찬이 그쪽 문화에는 없지만 에피타이저를 시키면 좀 반찬의 기능을 해서
Yes.
좀 미리 그것들을 먹을 수 있는 거네요.
Right. That's
그러면 식사가 먼저 나온 사람도 좀 그냥 눈치 안 보고 먹을 수 있고.
Yeah. Oh, you know, there is one other exception. I just remembered. So again, we don't have banchan, but sometimes restaurants will bring bread. They say bring bread to the table.
네.
So you sit down. They bring water, and immediately, usually, they'll bring some bread, and that bread it solves this problem too. Is that people can start sharing the bread immediately, so they don't have to worry about this table manner of like, oh, you know, they don't have their food or whatever. As long as they have some bread, you're okay.
근데 보통 그렇게 빵을 주는 식당들이 좀
Yeah.
그 뭐라 그러지? 좀 식당 종류가 다 비슷해요?
It depends on the restaurant. It's a good question. It's hard to answer, I think. It just really depends on the restaurant. Because, okay, so for example, yeah. So if you go to a Mexican restaurant, you'll get corn chips, right? Or tortilla chips.
네.
And if you go to a southern barbecue restaurant, you would
네.
get cornbread, like southern style cornbread, like sweet cornbread. And if you went to like a nicer restaurant, you might get like dinner rolls or Hawaiian rolls or something. And then, you know, if you go to a diner, like a breakfast place, you just get like slices of white bread. It really depends on the place. So
그렇구나.
every restaurant could be a little different.
오.
Yeah,
좋다.
sometimes you might get crackers or something. Yeah.
아무래도 한국에는 빵을 주는 식당이 그렇게 많지는 않거든요.
Right.
네. 그래서 메뉴가 좀 따로 있나 궁금했어요.
Right. Yeah. And there are some restaurants where you get no bread. I mean, that happens too. It depends on the restaurant.
그렇구나.
Yeah.
좋습니다. 무슨 얘기하다가 그 먼저 먹는 거.
Yeah.
네네. 그래서 근데 그런 상황이 벌어졌을 때 막 누구 음식이 먼저 나오거나 뭐 그런 상황이 딱 생겼을 때 뭐 혹시 뭐 별 생각이 드는 편인가요? 아니면 그냥 아무 생각 없나요?
It's not a huge big deal. So okay. So I will say this. Number one, I have table manners,
네.
but I also fail at table manners a lot. Like
그래요?
I'm not good at it.
오.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why, but the main reason is that I get really, really, really hungry.
네.
And when I'm hungry and I see food in front of me, I don't think about anybody else. I'm just like, oh my God, I just want to eat. And so it's not because I am intentionally being rude. I just don't remember to be polite. I'm just so hungry. And so I'll just start eating. And then after I've eaten a little bit, I'll look and be like, oh, nobody else has their food, and I feel a little bit like bad or sorry about it.
아,
So I don't know. I think other people probably think I'm a little bit rude when I do that.
오, 네.
But I haven't made any enemies from that. I haven't lost friends because of it. It's just it's probably a little bit rude.
그쵸, 뭐 그 정도는 좀 허용되는 선이죠.
Yeah. Yeah. But for younger people, like when I was younger, if I would do that, my parents would be like, "Hey, stop eating. Wait for other people." Like, you know.
그쵸.
Like, yeah. So parents will tell their children, "Hey, don't do that." But yeah, as adults, you know, if it, I think it feels rude, but people don't usually like make a big problem out of it. It just, it's rude.
네, 네. 그렇죠.
Yeah. Yeah.
아 근데 반대로 찌프가 그 같이 테이블에 앉은 사람이 그런 테이블 매너를 못 지키는 걸 볼 때도 있을 거 아니에요.
Oh yeah. I mean, I see that sometimes. Yeah.
뭐 그때는 어때요?
I mean, I understand why you're asking, but I'm trying to, I guess, okay, so here's the most important thing that I will tell you today about table manners.
오, 네.
In USA, specifically in USA. Everywhere is a little bit different. Every state in the USA is a little different, and every family is a little bit different, right? One family might have some specific table manner rules, and a different family might have different table manner rules.
네.
So if we go to a restaurant and see somebody without a table manner, like for example, they eat first, and we're like, that's a little weird. You usually think, well, maybe their family doesn't have that rule. Or maybe they're from a place where they have a different rule. And so usually we don't judge it very, very strongly. We just say, oh, okay, well, that is what it is. But there's exceptions. So for example,
네. 뭔데요?
so in American culture, probably everywhere, while you're eating, burping, like I don't making that noise while you eat is very, very, very rude in American culture. And
네.
if at a restaurant somebody at another table was doing that, I think other people would be like very they would want to complain and say, "Hey, please stop doing that," because it makes them feel uncomfortable or feel disgusted.
당연하죠.
I don't know if it's the same in Korea or not.
당연하죠. 당연하죠.
Okay. Yeah.
오.
So yeah, burping I would say is pretty universally in America. Like, just do not do that while you're eating.
네. 그렇죠.
Yeah.
한국도 그래요. 한국도.
Okay.
네. 그 잠깐 모든 나라가 그렇지 않을까요라고 말할 뻔했는데 세상은 넓고 문화는 다양하니까.
That's right.
네.
Because I have heard there's some cultures where it's actually it's not just okay, it's actually expected because it's a way to show that you enjoyed the meal. You're eating so fast, you enjoy it so much that you're like, that's like a way to show your appreciation. This is what I've heard, is that some countries have that culture. So I don't know. Not
네.
USA.
그렇죠. 한국도 그 정도는 아닌 것 같고.
Yeah. So anyway, so
네.
if somebody at a different table is showing bad table manners, usually we don't complain because maybe their culture is different. But then there's some rules like burping where nobody likes it. So yeah. Yeah.
근데 그래 이것도 궁금했는데요. 또 한국의 이 식사 예절은 조용한 게 좋아요. 네, 그리고 또 그런 식당 같은 다른 사람들도 있는 곳에서는 또 특히 조용히 하는 게 좋죠. 뭐 물론
be quiet.
네, 물론 당연히 식당에 따라서 또 분위기에 따라서 좀 시끌벅적한
Sure.
것도 있지만, 네,
That's true. Yeah.
네, 근데 뭐 막 너무 시끄럽게 한다거나, 네, 그러면 당연히 안 좋거든요.
Mm-hmm.
그리고 다른 테이블 사람들이 좀 기분이 나쁠 거예요.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
근데 그런 미국 캐나다 쪽은 어떤 편이에요? 막 와! 막 이렇게 막 웃고 막 야! 막 이렇게 막 하고 막 애들 막 야! 이렇게 막 해도 괜찮은 편인가요?
It depends on the restaurant, of course. I would say so I mean I visited Korea. I've been to a lot of different types of restaurants. I would say it's probably similar where there are restaurants in Korea that are very loud, where everybody is, laughing or talking or whatever very loudly, children crying, whatever. Same in USA. There's some restaurants that are very loud. And then there's some that are like more quiet, not really for families where people, talk very quietly like this.
네.
I think there's the same in Korea too, where people are a little more quiet. So it just depends on the restaurant. Yeah. In general, I feel like there's not a big difference between Korea and USA, Canada. It's about the same. Yeah. But yeah, I guess one thing, I don't know if this counts as table manners. If you have a baby or a child that's crying at a restaurant,
네.
sometimes other people at the restaurant will expect you to take your baby outside. And then when they stop crying, bring them back.
네.
And if you have a baby that's just crying for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, then that's pretty usually felt like it's pretty rude. Usually you should take your baby to a different place so that other people can eat more peacefully. But it does depend on the restaurant. If it's a very loud restaurant, maybe it's okay.
그렇게 그 다른 테이블에 아기가 막 울 때 좀 밖에 데리고 나가줬으면 하는 그 마음이 좀 일반적이에요.
Yeah, I think that's pretty common.
아, 그게 좀 사회적으로 좀 막 이렇게 하자는 말라고 약속은 안 했지만 그래도
Right.
좀 보통 다들 그렇게 생각한다는 말이네요.
That's right. Yeah, people just know to do that. They're more expected. You usually don't tell somebody, "Hey, take your kid outside." Like you would never do that, but people just know. Yeah. Yeah. What about in Korea? Is there a similar thing there?
그게 뭐 제가 아이를 갖거나 뭐 주변에 아이 있는 친구들이 많진 않아서 모르겠는데
Okay.
근데 제 생각에는 한국에는 그렇게 딱 제프가 말한 것처럼 대부분이 비슷하게 생각하는 그 기준이 없어요.
Oh, really?
그게 없어요.
Okay.
그래서 다들 이럴 땐 어떻게 해야 되지? 저 사람이 어떻게 해야 돼? 이런 그게 다 다르고 딱 정해진 그 선이 없어서 다들 옆자리 테이블에 아기가 막 울면은 저 왜 저래? 이렇게 속으로 생각하고 뭐 누구는 이렇게 생각하고
Right.
또 뭐 누구는 이제 너그러운 눈빛과 함께 아유 안 그래도 아기 키우기 힘들 텐데 참 고생한다. 그래도 나라도 좀 따뜻한 표정을 지어줘야지 이렇게 생각하는 사람도 있고.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
네, 근데 그게 딱 그 사회적인 합의가 없어요. 네, 딱 이렇게 합시다, 저렇게 합시다라고 한 약속이 없는 것 같아요, 제 생각엔. 그런 게 있으면 좋을 것 같은데.
Okay. Yeah, make it more peaceful for people, I guess, if they did that. Yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about another table manners thing. Okay. So another common one we talk about is talking with your mouth full. Like, do not talk with your mouth full. So if you're eating something, don't start talking. Chew it, swallow it,
네,
then talk.
그렇죠.
Even if somebody asks you a question, if somebody says, "Oh, hey, I have a question for you," and you're eating, then you say, "Okay, this is the answer," right?
네, 네.
That's the expectation. Is it the same in Korea?
그게 저는 무조건 그렇게 하길 바라거든요.
Okay.
근데 안 그러는 사람들이 많은 것 같아요.
Yeah, true.
너무 싫어요, 저는 그게.
You hate it?
네. 아, 네, 뭐 그렇습니다.
I
아니
see.
그러면은
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
아니 뭐그 튈 수도 있고
Yeah, 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 yeah.
근데 저는 그보다 더 싫은 게 뭐냐면은요. 더 싫은 게
Yeah.
뭐냐면 입을 안 가리고 얘기를 하면
Right,
그
right.
입에 있는 음식들이 막 이에 끼고 막 그게 너무 역겨워요. 저는.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those are definitely the two reasons. Number one, food could come out and then,
네.
get on the rest of the food, but also it just looks gross. Yeah.
에.
Yeah.
아, 너무 싫어.
So I would say, like I said, I have bad table manners. I break this rule sometimes because, again, I just forget. I don't
네.
think about it.
네.
So I break this rule sometimes.
아, 그렇군요. 아, 뭐 저도 가끔 그럴 수도 있어요.
Right, right.
네네. 누구나 다 딱딱하면
Yeah.
실수할 수 있으니까.
Sure. Anybody can make a mistake like that.
네, 맞아요.
Okay. So is there any other like
네.
rules in Korea that are like, really important? Do not break this rule. A table manner rule.
아, 뭐 얘기 대부분 한 것 같은데.
Mm-hmm.
아, 진짜 중요한 식사 예절. 아, 뭐 대부분 얘기한 것 같아요.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
그리고 근데 그러니까 그런 진짜 오래된 규칙 같은 거는 이제 딱히 생각나는 건 없는데.
Mm-hmm.
근데 몇 가지 중요한 게 일단 음식을 말 그대로 먹을 때 입에 넣을 때
Mm-hmm.
좀 조용히 먹는 게 좀 좋은 것 같아요.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Don't chew loudly.
아,
Yeah.
아니요. 그 입에
No?
넣을 때 왜냐면
Mm-hmm.
그 한국은 특히나
Mm-hmm.
그 국 요리
Okay.
그리고 면 요리 같은 게 많잖아요.
Sure.
근데 그거를 이제 막 이렇게 이렇게 먹는 게 그 막 소리 많이 내고 막 튀기면
Uh-huh.
매너가 아니죠.
Okay. Yeah,
네.
same here. Yeah, if you're eating soup or noodles or spaghetti, yeah, you don't want to go. Yeah, you don't want that. That's not good.
그렇죠. 그건 좋지 않아요.
I see. Okay.
네. 그리고 또 이거는 문화적으로 좀 그 흥미로운 거라고 생각하는데
Uh-huh.
또 한국은 그 큰 요리 하나를 막 4명, 막 5명, 6명 이렇게 다 공유해서 다 같이 먹는 것들이 좀 있잖아요.
Yes, right.
네, 그럴 때 아무래도 이제 개인 숟가락, 개인 젓가락으로 그 큰 요리에 담으면 안 된다? 그게 좀 중요한 것 같아요.
Right. Yeah. So okay. So actually, this is a really big cultural difference between Korea and USA. We do have shared dishes sometimes, like especially appetizers, but usually we have individual dishes for our meal, and so almost never you would usually never take food off somebody else's plate and eat it in our culture. So you wouldn't like reach and take somebody else's food. Or try somebody else's food, without asking first. But again, there's not shared food. But here's the cultural difference, in my opinion. When there is shared food, so for example, sometimes there'll be a salad in the middle. Everybody takes some salad, puts it on their plate, right? Everybody gets individual salad from the middle. And that can be the same with like potatoes or carrots, like any vegetables or cake, pie, anything like that. But here's the difference, in my opinion. In Korea, each person will use their chopsticks or spoon
네.
to get the food and put it on their plate or in their mouth. But they get the food, right? But in USA, we pass the food. So we'll pick up the plate
오.
and take some and then give it to the next person, and they take it and they take some and then they give it, and so we call it passing the food, pass the food.
네.
And so it's a big table.
네.
If on the other side of the table there's something that I want, there's some potatoes or there's some corn or whatever, I don't reach to get it from where I'm at very
네.
far. I say, oh, please pass the potatoes. Please pass the corn. So whoever's closest will pick it up and then give it and then give it and then give it. And then I have it. And then I can take what I want and then put it down.
네.
Or say, oh, does anybody else want the potatoes? And then give it to them. Right?
그렇구나.
Yeah.
근데 한국도 그런 식으로 음식들이 있을 때는 좀 그렇게 바뀌고 있는 것 같아요. 많이 바뀐 것 같아요.
Oh, okay.
네, 그렇게
Sometimes you'd pass
네, 개별 메뉴, 작은 메뉴가 여러 개 있을 때는
Yeah.
반대쪽에 저 그 음식 좀 주시겠어요? 이렇게 해서 받아서 덜어가고 또 주고.
I see. Okay. So you do pass food also.
네.
My experience, so when I visited Korea at restaurants with or even people's houses with different friends and family and just various people that I met there, what I experienced, just my experience.
네.
If they could reach the food with their chopsticks, they would usually just get it themselves. If it was too far to reach, then they would ask for it to be passed.
맞아요.
Yeah, but in America, even if you can reach it kind of easily, we have a rule, table manners. We'd say don't reach across the table. Don't reach across the table. Ask for the food to be passed to you. So I think it's much more common. So this is just my experience. I've noticed, I think, a difference there.
근데 한국도 그렇게 맞아요. 그냥 뭐 손 자기가 뻗어서 가지고 올 수 있으면 그냥 그렇게 하고.
Right.
네, 그런
Yeah.
편이죠.
Yeah, and something that I've heard, I think this might be true. I don't know. I'm not a historian. I always say this. I'm not a historian.
네.
I don't know history. So chopsticks in Korea are different than chopsticks in China and chopsticks in Japan. They're just a little different, right? Different shape, different length. So
네.
Korean chopsticks, for example, are metal and they're usually more flat,
네.
like flat shape.
네.
In Chinese culture, they're longer, is what
네.
I've seen. Chinese chopsticks are a little longer.
네.
I've heard that the reason is because they reach farther across the table to get food farther away. Where in Korea, maybe the tables are smaller, or I don't know exactly the reason, but they don't need long chopsticks in Korea because they don't reach as far as in China. That's what I've heard. Does it make sense? Am I crazy?
그럴 수도 있네요. 그럴듯해요.
Okay. All right.
긴 젓가락이라.
Yeah, between Korea and Japan, I don't know which chopsticks are shorter or if they're the same, but I've definitely seen in Chinese chopsticks they're a little bit longer.
네.
Yeah.
그런가? 근데 왜 그 중국 식당 같은 데는 그 왜 막 원형 동그라미 원형 테이블에
Right.
그 막
Round table.
근데 테이블 그리고 막 테이블 가운데 동그라미 돌아가고 막 그런 것도 있잖아요.
Yeah, I love those.
그래요.
So in English we call that lazy Susan.
수잔?
I don't know why Susan. That's just what it's called.
네.
So lazy is 게으르다, right?
네.
게으른 Susan 이름.
네.
근데 so I guess maybe there was a person named Susan who was very lazy who invented this. I don't know. But yeah, you rotate everything on the table.
네.
And at Chinese even in USA and Canada, when we go to dim sum restaurants, dim sum,
네, 딤섬.
they have rotating table. Oh, I love that so much. That's the best. Yeah.
그쵸.
Yeah.
뭔가 보스가 된 것 같은 느낌 아닙니까? 싹 돌리면서 싹 먹고.
Yeah.
네.
Yep. So yeah, in when my friends and I would go to dim sum, again, we don't reach across the table. We say pass the food, but instead of passing the food, they just rotate.
그쵸.
The dim sum restaurant.
네.
So yeah, I love that.
그쵸. 아무튼 그래서 젓가락 얘기를 해봤는데, 근데 아무튼 아까 제가 얘기했던 그 큰 음식 하나를
Mhm.
큰 음식 하나를 막 4명, 5명 이렇게 여러 명이서 나눠 먹는 게
Mhm.
그 처음 봤을 때는 좀 어땠어요?
Oh, me?
네.
So this is just my personal experience. Is I grew up in a family where we actually did eat a lot of shared food and shared dishes. So for me, it's not that surprising or different. Like it's not that strange to me. For some people, maybe it is kind of shocking or like a little bit of culture shock. But for me, that it's not surprising. It's not a problem. So I don't know. But yeah, I think I've seen maybe in like on YouTube, I've seen reaction videos where foreigners are a little bit shocked by that. I think I understand why they're shocked. It's just it can be pretty different culture. I think. Yeah.
맞아요, 맞아요.
Yeah. Yeah.
네, 네. 아니 뭐 저는 뭐 그 음식 다 같이 먹는 음식에 그 자기 숟가락 젓가락을 쓰지만 않는다면 괜찮은 것 같아요. 그냥 어차피 다른 그냥 그 국자 같은 걸로 따로 퍼서 네, 따로 퍼서 먹기만 하면.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. The thing that I like about it, and maybe why it was common in our family, is that so different people eat different amounts. Some people eat a lot, some people eat a little.
네.
And so if you go to a restaurant where everybody gets, a lot of food, sometimes somebody can't eat it all. Or if everybody gets a little food, then somebody's still hungry. But when you share food among, everybody, then everybody can eat the amount that they want.
맞네요.
Yeah. And not just for like being full or being hungry, but like, if I like potatoes more and somebody likes potatoes less, I can eat those. And then they like carrots more and I like carrots less, so I can eat less. And so you can choose to your personal taste or personal preference how
네.
much of each dish you want to eat. And maybe there's something like, oh, I don't want to eat that. Personally, me, I don't like avocado. So if there's avocado, I don't want it at all. Like I'm not going to touch it. But then my wife, for example, she doesn't eat spicy food. And so I'll eat everything spicy and she won't eat it at all. So yeah. So I think sharing food can be really good.
아, 좋네요.
Yeah.
그 만약에
It's better for everybody.
따로 각자 자기 음식만 딱딱딱 있으면
Yeah.
그러면은 그때는 만약에 나 아보카도 안 먹으니까 내 아보카도 남은 거 너 먹어 이렇게 하고 주기 좀 이상하잖아요.
Right.
근데 이제
But-
그 다 같이 있으면
Yeah.
괜찮다.
Yeah. Right. But we do get used to like since a lot of times we order individual food. If you get your food and you have something that you don't want, you'd be like, "Oh, does anybody want this pickle? Does
Oh.
anybody want this avocado? Please take it. Just take it."
아, 그래요?
So we'll share food with people like that. But usually it's if I'm just like, I'm not going to eat this. I don't want it to be thrown away. Just take it. We can share food that way.
알겠습니다. 생각보다 되게 많이 잘 쉐어하네요. 그쪽 문화도.
Yeah. Definitely.
그렇구나.
Okay, I have another question.
네.
So one this is complicated.
네.
One of the table manners that we have that's different every family. It's different.
네.
When there's only one thing left. So for example, let's say there's 3 rolls
네.
and there's 2 people.
네.
So I eat one roll, they eat one roll, and then there's one left. What we usually do, I think, before you take the final thing, before you take the last thing, we usually ask like, "Oh, is it okay if I have the last one?" If you just take it without asking, it feels very rude, I think.
그쵸.
You have to ask first, right?
네, 네.
Okay, is that the same in Korea or not? Because I just don't know.
좀 다른데요.
Uh-huh.
어떤 부분에서 다르냐면 아까 찌프는 이거 남은 거 제가 먹어도 돼요? 이렇게 물어본다 했잖아요. 근데 제 경험으로는
음.
그 30년쯤 한국에 살고 있는 제 경험으로는
Mhm.
대부분 하나 남은 거 다른 사람한테 먼저 양보해요. 이거 드세요. 이거 먹어. 이렇게.
Oh, you please eat this.
네, 네. 그렇게
아.
대부분이 그렇게 얘기해요. 대부분이.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't think we would do that in the USA. Is be like, hey, there's one roll, you eat it. Like, yeah, usually we would just ask, I want to eat it. Can I have it, please? Don't
그래요?
like, is that okay? Yeah,
그렇구나. 오.
yeah. I don't know why, but yeah, I think in our culture, if we told somebody, hey, there's only one, you eat it, that might feel a little bit rude because because American culture is hard to explain to Koreans, I think maybe, but
네.
if you tell somebody to do something, anything, if like it's eating a thing or doing something,
네.
they would have to say no to refuse you, right? So if you say, hey, eat that roll, and then they say no, they would feel a little bit rude to say no to you because they refused what you said.
오.
And if they say, so they would feel rude to say no. And so they'd say, okay, I guess I should just eat this roll, even if I don't want it, even if I'm completely full.
네.
So telling somebody to eat something feels a little bit rude because you're forcing them to either accept or refuse your offer. So I don't know. It just feels rude to tell somebody to do something like that.
와, 그렇구나.
That's my feeling. Again, it could be different in different families or in different places in USA, but that's how I feel. Is that we wouldn't usually say that. But maybe one exception
네.
to that. So if we go to eat pizza, that's very shareable food, right?
그쵸.
We order one pizza, 3 people eat, maybe, right? So everybody eats, and then there's one slice of pizza left, just one, right?
네.
I'm too full, so I'm not going to eat it. And that 3 people, we're all too full, right?
네.
And so if we sit and wait for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we'd say, is nobody going to eat that pizza?
네.
And they go, no, I'm too full. And be like, well, I'm too full. Everybody's too full.
네.
We'd say, okay, somebody needs to eat the pizza. To take it, we say, take it for the team. Like,
네.
we're a team together. We have to eat that pizza.
네.
So somebody needs to eat it. But I wouldn't say you eat it. I wouldn't say you eat it. I'd say somebody, please eat this pizza. Somebody eat it.
네.
And eventually,
네.
eventually somebody would say, okay, I'll eat the pizza. I'll eat the slice. And then they'll do it.
네.
So we just say somebody needs to eat it. But we wouldn't say who. We wouldn't decide who would do it. Right?
오.
Yeah.
아니 그것도 양보는 아니네요.
And if we had to, maybe we would do rock, paper, scissors to decide.
그거
But,
양보하는 게 아니라 벌칙이죠, 벌칙.
Oh, really? Really?
네, 벌칙이네, 벌칙. 오.
That's interesting.
아, 그렇구나. 그러고 보니까 한국은 그러면은 왜 양보부터 할까요? 근데 그 양보를 하는 심리는 그 양보를 할 때 그 마음은 왜 그런 말을 하냐면 지금 이 테이블에 있는 이 하나 남은 음식이 되게 소중한 거라고 생각하는 거예요.
Yeah.
근데
Definitely.
음식이 그리고 귀한 거고. 그래서
That's I have that feeling very strongly. Yeah.
아 그래요?
Go ahead. Yeah.
아 그래요? 아 그러니까 이 귀한 이 마지막 남은 이 소중한 음식을 그 양보할 게 진짜 이 마음이거든요. 근데 막 내가 막 배가 너무 불러서가 아니라.
No. I'm saying the feeling that I have is that food is very, very valuable.
네,
Like I
네.
don't want to waste food, right?
네.
Yeah. So when the situation comes where they say somebody needs to eat it, somebody needs to take it for the team, that's me. I'll eat the last slice. I'll always do it.
아니 그 말이에요? someone이라는 말이
Yeah.
사실 나 이거예요?
Oh, okay.
그
I'll eat it.
말이에요?
Yeah.
그 somebody 그 누군가 먹어야 돼. 이 말이 누군가 사실 나 이 말이네.
Right.
아, 저 이제 이해했어요. 그럼 벌칙이 아니구나.
Yeah.
아, 그러면 아, 그렇구나. 완전히
Yeah,
다르게
so, yeah.
내가
So I'll definitely eat the last thing if nobody will do it. I will always do it.
근데 저는 진짜 막 배가 다 안 차서 더 먹고 싶을 때도 그냥 일단 그러면 그 내가 내가 지금 배가 안 부른 것처럼 그 다른 사람들도 배가 안 부를 수도 있고 그러면 또 똑같이 지금 제 마음처럼 이 마지막 남은 음식을 먹고 싶을 수도 있으니까 그러면 아 그래 너도 그럴 수 있으니까 너가 먹어 너가 먹어 이렇게
really?
네네
Wow.
많이들 그렇게 얘기를 해요.
Oh, interesting.
제가
I don't think we have
제가
that.
겪어본 사람들은
That's so interesting. Okay. So one other table manners thing I thought we should talk about. We've talked a lot about restaurants mostly, like, or maybe universal rules. But I think there's some special table manners if you go to somebody's house, additional special table manners. So I thought I should mention that. Maybe if somebody in Korea comes and visits, you know, they go to a what do you call it? Homestay? Go to a homestay?
홈스테이. 네.
Yeah, you might be eating at somebody's house, and so you'll want to know some extra manners that you should know. Okay, so number one, if somebody cooks food at their house for you, they made food, and they say, "Oh, I made this food, you know, try one or try a bite,"
네.
right? If it's something you know you don't like avocado, for example, for me, it's avocado, right? If somebody offers me avocado, I'll say, "Oh, I'm okay, no, thank you." But if they say, "No, try one bite, just try one,"
네.
you have to try one bite, unless you have an allergy, like unless you will get sick. You have to try a bite. Like, if you refuse 2 times and say no, I'm not going to eat it, it feels very, very rude because they made this food, prepared it for you.
네.
They want to know your opinion, like is it good or not?
네.
And you can lie. You can say it's good even if it's not. You can lie, but you shouldn't refuse food if people cooked it themselves. I think you should never refuse food twice. Like, yeah. That would be one thing. I don't know if Korea is the same. Like, can you refuse food?
한국도 그래요. 그걸 거절하는 건 예의가 아니에요.
Yeah.
네. 그리고 싹싹 긁어 먹어야 예의인 것 같은데.
Yeah.
다 먹어야 돼요. 다.
Right. Oh, you have to eat it all?
네. 다 먹어야 돼요.
Oh.
엄청 맛있게.
I see. No, so actually, we can try one bite and then not eat it all. Like here, you can not eat everything and just be, "Oh, sorry, I'm so full, I can't eat right now." I think that's okay, but you have to eat something. Yeah, you have to try it.
그렇구나.
Yeah.
한국은 그냥 너무 맛있어요. 막 와 최고입니다. 진짜 요리 잘하시네요. 이렇게 하고 다 먹어야 돼요.
Right. I think that sometimes we'll do that, but you don't have to. It's not required. You don't have to eat everything. So second thing, although there's a problem. So one thing, if you don't eat everything because you say, "Oh, sorry, I'm so full, I can't eat everything," they'll say, "Oh, okay, I'll put it in the refrigerator and you can have it tomorrow." And you go, "Oh no, I have to eat it tomorrow." Yeah. Or if you're leaving that day, they'll say, "Oh, I'll put it in a container. You can take it home."
가지고 가라고
Okay.
하는구나.
Take it home, throw it in the trash, right?
너무하다.
Yeah. Okay, one other table manner rule in houses, I think.
네.
so everybody, sits at the table to eat, right? Usually you shouldn't leave the table, like go away from the table
네.
without asking first. So
오.
you'd say, oh, if you're being very polite, you'd say, may I please be excused? May I please be excused?
오.
It usually just means I want to use the bathroom, right?
아, 그래요?
Yeah, may I please be
아.
excused?
아, 그렇게 표현해요?
Yeah. If you're at somebody's house.
오.
If you're eating at somebody's house and you just get up and go to the bathroom without saying anything or asking, it's very rude.
그렇죠. 똑같아요. 근데
Okay.
그거 당연한 거 아니에요?
Oh, really? Okay. I wasn't sure if that was true in Korea.
아니, 당연히 물어보고 혹시
Yeah.
화장실 좀 써도 될까요? 뭐 혹시 화장실이
Yeah.
어디 있나요? 이렇게 또 어디 있는지도 알아야 하니까.
Okay.
네. 먼저 물어보고 해야죠.
Okay.
이거 당연히 지켜야죠.
Okay. Yeah. And then the last advice I would have is like I said, every family is different. So what you should do is we say observe. So you go to somebody's house to eat, you sit down, watch what other people are doing. Just watch carefully
네.
and see what they're doing and then do that. Because every family might have different table manners. So you can see their table manners and just follow what they're doing.
그 집에 원래 사는 가족들이 뭘 하는지, 어떻게 하는지
Yeah.
보라는 말이죠.
Right. Because, for example, some families before they eat, they will pray. They'll, do this and say something,
네.
amen, and then they eat, right? So you don't you don't want to eat and then realize that, you started eating and then everybody else was praying, right? Or if they use certain silverware, like a certain fork for a certain food and a certain knife for a certain food or whatever,
네.
you should just watch what they do and follow what they do. Another example, after you're finished eating, some families will pick up their own plate and go to the sink or the kitchen and put their plate in the sink.
네.
Some people will pick up their plate and put it in the dishwasher if they have a dishwasher, right? Some people will leave their plate, not take it, and one person, maybe the mom or the dad in the family, will pick up all the plates. Or sometimes even the youngest child will
네.
pick up all the plates.
네. 네.
Or it depends on the family, is what I'm saying.
네, 그렇죠.
So after a meal, what do? Do you pick up your plate, or do you? Sometimes the guest is going to wash the dishes.
네?
Sometimes.
네. 오.
So that family prepared the meal.
네.
So the guests do the cleanup.
아니
Sometimes.
그런 집이 있어요?
Yeah. Sometimes the person hosting will do the cooking and the cleaning. It just depends, right? Every family's different. So just observe, watch what other people do, and then follow what they do.
오, 네.
Yeah.
아니,
Yeah,
아니 한국에서는 그런 집은 찾기가 힘들 것 같아요. 집에 사람을 초대해서 밥을 해주고 설거지를 시킨다? 그거는 좀 욕먹을 것 같은데요, 한국에선.
I think it's harder to imagine in Korea for me because with banchan, there's so many more dishes. It's more complicated.
네.
With American families, maybe there's less dishes, so it's a little easier. But yeah, it exists. It happens.
그래도 그렇지. 한국에선 절대 그러면 안 돼요. 절대. 한국에서는
Yeah.
물론 그 손님들이 지켜야 할 매너랑
Right.
그 초대한 집에 있는 사람들의 매너가 또 다르잖아요.
Right, sure.
네, 근데 이제 그 손님들 측의 매너는 그 무조건 이제 우리를 초대해준 집에 있는 사람들이 막 우리 때문에 너무 고생하지 않게 최대한 배려해주고 도와주자 이런 매너가
Sure.
있고.
That makes sense.
또 반면에 이 집에서 사람들을 초대한 쪽에서는 이 사람들은 우리 손님이니까 절대 일 같은 거 하면 안 되고 우리가 다 할 거다.
Right, right, right.
그런 매너를 가지고 있는데 근데 그런 상황에서는 그 초대한 집에 있는 사람들이 일을 하는 게 그냥 뭐 일반적인 것 같아요.
That
근데,
makes sense.
근데
yeah.
이제 물론 대신에 그 초대 받은 사람들은
Sure.
초대 받아서 그 놀러 온 사람들은 그럼 우리가 도와줄게요. 뭐 테이블 정리는 우리가 할게요. 뭐
Right, 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 right.
네, 우리가 뭐 어떻게 하면 좋을까 이렇게 막 그걸 보여주죠. 근데
Sure.
근데
Okay.
그렇다고 실제로 그렇게 막 많이 하지는 않아요.
Okay, okay. So the person hosting wants to make their guest as comfortable as possible and do as much as possible. But the guests will also sometimes they'll offer as much help as they can. They want to be able to help. I think it's similar. Like usually that's the case in America. Very similar. And I think it's very, very polite. Like, before or after a meal, the guest will say, "Can I do anything to help? Do you need any help? What can I do?" And usually the host will say, "Nothing. Just sit there. You're okay. Don't do
그쵸.
anything." Usually, but sometimes they'll say, "Oh, could you please do the dishes?" Or could you please pour the drinks? Or could you please open this bottle for me? Or something like that.
그 정도는
Yeah.
괜찮다.
Yeah, yeah. Open the wine.
네,
Or
그 정도는
cut the meat or cut the cake or whatever. They might give you some job to do sometimes.
오.
Yeah.
오. 그 병뚜껑 따달라는 거, 그 와인 열어달라는 거 정도만 괜찮은 것 같아요. 제 생각엔.
Right, right, right.
네.
So yeah. So anyway, I think that's all the table manners I could think of. I mean, there's maybe some more, but like I said, it just depends so much depending on the family. Those are the most common ones that I really thought of. Yeah.
네, 저도 뭐 생각했던 얘기는 대부분 다 한 것 같아요.
Okay.
네. 식사 예절이라고 하기는 힘든데 한국에는 그 술 마시는 예절도 좀 있거든요.
Sure, of course. Yeah. More than in USA for sure. Because
네.
so this is what I think I know is that usually you don't pour a drink for yourself, you pour a drink for somebody else.
맞아요.
In Korea. And also you use two hands, either like this or like this. Right?
네.
There's nothing like that in USA. Like
그쵸.
you can pour your own drinks, you can do whatever. There's no
네.
rules.
그러니까 맞아요. 그렇습니다. 참 그게 뭐라고. 네. 그리고 또 그 윗사람이 이렇게 딱 술을 이렇게 따라줘서 딱 제가
right. And then this. Yeah.
네 맞아요. 요렇게 딱
Right,
처음
right.
이렇게 해야 돼요. 그럼 혹시 이것도 알아요?
Yeah.
지금 얘기할 거 이게 뭐 하나가 있는데 이거 혹시 아셨나요? 그 짠을 하잖아요. 짠.
Sure,
건배하고 짠을 하는데
yeah.
그 이렇게 뭐 잔이랑 잔이 이 끝에 이 높이가 있잖아요.
Sure.
근데 그 제 잔이
Yeah.
저보다 높은 사람의 잔보다
Yeah.
높으면 안 된대요.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I've
그쵸.
never heard that. Ooh. I've probably broken this rule.
야, 이거는
I
근데
didn't
이거는 좀 더 약간 좀 수준 높은
Okay.
룰인 것 같아요.
Sure.
네, 저도
Whoa, I've never heard that.
스무 살 때인가 21살 때 네, 아무것도 모를 때 배웠습니다. 저도.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Okay.
네.
Yeah, we don't have that rule at all. I've never heard of that. And so I have a coworker who is meeting with some Korean clients. I don't know when. Maybe he already did, but I think it's like next month.
오.
He asked me, what are some Korean table manners that he should know?
Yeah.
I told him everything that we've talked about, but I didn't tell him that one. So I'll need to let him know. Yeah, to be careful of that rule. Yeah.
네,
Good thought.
네, 딱 이렇게 해가지고 딱 잔은
Yeah.
무조건 낮게.
I didn't know that. Okay. Wow, interesting.
네, 아니 그러니까 뭐 상대방을 높여주고 싶다면
Sure.
예, 그렇게 잔을 낮게 하고요. 근데 뭐
Okay.
예,
So I know that sometimes in English we would call this seniority. Like 높게 we would call seniority. Who is bigger, higher, whatever.
예, 그러니까
So I know that seniority in Korea is sometimes a little confusing. Like maybe you don't know
네.
who is more senior. When you go to Jan, do sometimes you go lower and then they go lower, and then do you have that problem sometimes?
아 그럴 수도 있어요. 그럴 수도 있어요. 네. 그러더라고. 그리고
Yeah.
그런 딱 보통 그렇게 뭐 잘 모르는 상황에서 그렇게 할 때
Yeah.
그 저는 그걸 아니까
Yeah.
혹시 몰라서 일단 잔을 내리거든요. 전 잔을 낮게
Yeah.
해서 하는 편인데
Yeah.
다른 사람도 좀 그럴 때가 있어요.
Yeah.
그러면은 딱 짠 하고 나서 약간 눈으로 딱 알아요. 딱 이렇게 좀 신경 쓰네 이렇게.
Right.
네, 알 수 있습니다. 그렇게.
Wow. That's interesting.
네, 그렇습니다. 네.
Okay.
네.
Yeah. I guess maybe that's a good spot to stop. I don't know. I think we're out of ideas.
네. 아유, 오늘 얘기를 많이 했기 때문에 네, 시간이 늦어져서 이쯤에서 마무리를 하는 게 좋을 것 같습니다.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
네, 그럼 오늘 되게 새로운 표현들이랑 또 놀라운 문화 차이 많이 알아갑니다.
Yeah, me too. I learned a lot.
네. 자, 그러면 오늘 오늘 주제 추천해 주신 그 에릭님께 너무 감사드리고요. 이렇게 주제 추천할 거 있으면 얼마든지 알려주십시오.
Yeah. Thanks so much for suggesting this topic. It was great. And anybody else who has a suggestion, something they want to hear about, leave it in the comments and we'll talk about it.
네. 뭔가 좀 좋은 주제 추천한 사람한테 상을 주거나 좀 그렇게라도 해야 좀 되겠어요. 사람들이 추천을 많이 안 해줘서 네, 좀 부탁드립니다. 자, 네.
Yep.
그러면 저희는 다음 주에 또 흥미롭고 유익한 내용으로 돌아오겠습니다. 그러면 지금까지 저는 하프앤하프의 정태웅이었습니다. 감사합니다.
And I'm Jeep. You've been listening to Half and Half. We'll see you next time.
바이바이.